we're doing dialogues this semester with students in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and in Colombia. I think really quite a unique opportunity to be having dialogues in countries that are in varying degrees of conflict. And, there aren't Americans. As far as I know, we are the only program in the world, in the United States, that's has an ongoing dialogue program with students in Afghanistan. So that's pretty cool, I think. This is from the other day. These are some students in Herat, Afghanistan, and these are some of you. You may see yourself in there. Here is a photo that I took the last time I was in Bogota. This is from last semester, and we have dialogues with the Universidad del Rosario in Bogota, and it's one of the oldest universities in the Western Hemisphere. It's a really, really important university in Colombia, and it's really also quite a unique opportunity. So these are Penn State students here in Pond Lab, and with students at El Rosario. And here's a dialogue from the other day with students in Kabul, Afghanistan. Okay, so these are some of you in there. JD, he's one of our global dialogue coordinators, and is just going to kind of walk us through some things that we need to do. But first, let's get a few volunteers.
So there are just a few things that we all should know when we're entering a global dialogue. We're working with a lot of technology, and sometimes that can cause some issues in communication. So first off, we just want you to know, slow your speech down. I know when we're talking to our peers here in America, we can talk very fast, but when we're dealing with the technologies and the microphones, sometimes it doesn't pick it up as clearly if you're speaking really quickly. So with that, we want you to slow down. Slow your speech, and also we want you to enunciate your words, because sometimes when we have the two rows, you're sitting in the back, and if you're talking like this, the microphone's not going to pick it up. So we really want you to project your voice in order for our partners over in Afghanistan, Iraq, or in Colombia to be able to understand you as clear as possible. And we will ask our partners in our global sites and you as well to repeat yourselves if we notice that you're not speaking up loudly, so just expect that. We also want you to be curious. Great example was Jacob. Okay. In the dialogue, he was sitting and he heard something and he was just, hey, I have questions about that. And I'm sure that many of you in these global dialogues will have questions about the people we're talking to. Don't feel afraid to ask questions. We want you to be curious with everybody that we're talking to, just as they're curious to meet you all and to learn about your experiences here in the United States, because we have these preconceived notions of what it may be like to live in these different places, just as they do. But what we're trying to do is just really be able to understand one another through our own experiences. So please feel free to ask any questions that come to your mind so we can talk about it and just learn from one another. Another thing is maybe it's another awkward portion. We want you all to use names. So a part of my job is communicating with our partners. So when I do that, I will get all your attendance sheets. I'll get all the names of the people in that dialogue, send them the list of names, as well as they will send their participants' names as well. We encourage you to just use names. It will personalize the conversation. It'll make people feel like their opinions and thoughts and views are validated, and it'll just give people the feeling of having a stake in the conversation, in the dialogue that we're having. So please use names. It makes everybody feel better. It humanizes everybody, and that's kind of one of our goals here. It is one of our goals here at World of Conversation and Social 19.
And it makes, when I'm on this side of the screen as well, it's not just for them, but when somebody on the other side of the world calls me by my name, I feel it just changes something. It connects us in a cool way. So
yeah. Another thing is please show up with energy. We know it's early. I get up at 5 a.m. every day to make it into the centers to help run these global dialogues, and you guys have to do it one time. And I'm not saying that it's not hard. I know you're tired. We will have coffee, we have tea, we'll have some snacks for you. So if you don't get to eat breakfast, we'll have that, that accommodation. But we want you to show up and feel excited to be in the dialogue, to talk to these people that you probably will never speak to again for the rest of your lives. And it's just really important that, you show up. ready, get a good night's rest, and just, come in and just exude that energy, because the people we're talking to in Iraq and Afghanistan, it's the end of their day. It'll be 4:30 in Afghanistan when we meet with them, and it'll be, 3 p.m. in our Iraq sites. So they're nearing the end of their days while we're just starting ours. So they're all up in, hold on.
They're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, they're rolling.
But wait, when do dialogues, I hear murmuring, dialogues don't start at 5 a.m., Yellow, right?
No, I just wake up at 5 a.m.
What time do they start here?
So our dialogues for Afghanistan will start at 7 a.m., and our Iraq dialogues will start at 8 a.m. So we know it's a little early, but when we get rolling with Colombia in the middle of February, those will be at 4 p.m., so those will also be an option.
And can I just say this? If you have to be at a dialogue at 7 a.m. in Afghanistan, it's probably because the primary reason is because we're having dialogues with Afghan women, and there are security issues for Afghan women. Afghanistan is in a war, as is Iraq, and there are a lot of security issues for all of our students that they need to try to get home before it's dark. It's really dangerous. And a lot of these students are coming from a half hour, an hour and a half away just to have the dialogue. And it can be dangerous for them to do that. So we need to have the dialogues early so that they stay out of danger. So when you're waking up, really early, and you may be thinking, in the moment, I don't really want to do this. Just keep in mind that we have the luxury of being able to walk across campus and know that there isn't a bomb that's going to go off or something. You know what I mean? So this is big.
So it comes along with the energy. Lots of times when I'm sitting, watching, and observing these dialogues, I notice that there are participants that seem to be putting their heads down or maybe have their eyes shut. So what this projects to our partners is a lack of investment in the work that we do. So we just encourage you to promote good body language and just be invested within the dialogue. And there are things called mirror neurons. So if you are sitting here and you're excited to be here, you're getting all up in arms. I was gonna say up in arms. That's not the right thing, but just you're just having fun.
Yeah.
They're gonna see that. And they're going to come back and, give you the same thing, and it'll just promote a better dialogue. You'll have better conversations, and you'll build connections and relationships with people across the world.
JD is going to walk us through just an example of a dialogue with you.
Yeah. First off, I just wanted to pose the prompt, which you had already. And Mr. Rashidi, that is, what is something your family knows a lot about?
There are lots of things that my family knows about, but clearly what are they curious? I have a family, my son, my daughter, my two sons and my daughter and my wife. Yeah, I'm really curious about my education of my children, my kids. Yeah, how should I raise them, and how should I teach them to be really kind and to be really good person.
So from that, we would like you to go ahead and, from what he said, ask a question that you're interested in.
My name is Mia, and I just want to know what you like to do for fun.
I really don't know, but I hang out with friends, with my family. Yeah, go out for sightseeing. Yeah, it's fun for me. And also, dialogue is a good fun for me to talk with you, to solve many problems, to solve many misconceptions, misunderstandings, which happens in two sides of the words.
Hi, my name is Ariella, and I just found out you're from Kabul, Afghanistan. What's the weather like there right now? Because it's freezing here.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's minus 15 degrees Celsius.
So can you say where you live? Is it mountainy or is it flat lands and stuff?
Yeah, I live outside of the Kabul city. It's a suburb, I can say. Or we can say it's a village. Yeah, like a village. It's 17 district of Kabul. Yes, I live there. Yeah, it's a house with a big yard with 300 trees in my yard.
Hi, my name's Jacob. You said that you like to teach your kids how to be kind. If you don't mind telling me, what does your family do for family bonding or family time?
Yeah, let me say something. When something happens in your side and in something, let me say in another way. When the extremists in both sides say something, for example, George W. Bush said, war, I can't say that word, the Christian against Muslim. Yeah, they break all Muslims together to fight against American. But when we talk in dialogues, we saw the American people are really kind and they are really good people. Yeah. If we have dialogue, if we talk to each other, we know both sides is really kind and really good. If we count the circles that we are surrounded by the name of religion, ethnicity, or something else, if we come out of that and we talk with the people who are against us, who are in conflict with us, we can solve our problems. I strongly believe to that. I want to raise my children to know these kind of things. There are lots of kind people all over the world. I don't believe to the borders, to the circles like religion or ethnicity or black and white or other things. I don't believe them. I want my children to know that there is no difference between human. We are all human beings, and they must love the people the other side. And they must talk to them. If there is some problem, some misunderstanding, they should talk to them. They should solve their problems. Yes, it's this. What do you feel about people, about Muslims, or about the people who live in Afghanistan and Iraq, or Middle Easterns? What do you think about them? What kind of people are they? Maybe I say all the days they portray with the gun. Yeah, they show fighting and war and something like this. What do you think about the people in Afghanistan or Iraq?
How about that? What do you think
Or
about the
even
people
in
in
Iran?
Afghanistan or Iraq?
I think that they're just people. I think of you guys like I think of any of us. I think you guys are just going through a different kind of, I don't know, different life than we are. I don't really think of you guys any differently. I think it's just like the circumstances that you guys may be enduring right now are unfortunate and unfair, but I believe that like we are no different than you guys are because like you said, like there are kind people all around the world and you're kind and we're sitting here and having a conversation. So I don't really see you guys differently other than the fact that you guys are going through something a little bit different than we are going through.
I see people in Afghanistan and Iraq as people fighting for their freedom, and I really commend that. Just from speaking the other day on Tuesday to students in Iraq, they're in a position where they have the lower hand, we'll say, but they're still doing everything they can. They're going to school, they're learning what they can, they are becoming educated, and I really like that. I like to see that, and I commend that behavior a lot.
I was just going to say, in that dialogue, like, what were some preconceived notions that may have been broken that you had prior to going in?
You never see us, in the U.S. at least, you never see much of the civilization side in Afghanistan and Iraq. You always see the war side of it. And just to be able to see students practicing their studies, telling us what their majors is, gave me a whole different view of what life in Iraq is.
Hey, what question do you have for Mr. Rashidi about his children?
Oh, I did have a question about
Okay.
your children. Okay. Hi, I'm Ariella again. How old are your children? And if they're old enough to be in college, do you want them to study a specific major, or will you allow them to study whatever they want?
Yeah, my oldest son is 14 years old, and my daughter is 8 years old, and she's going to be 9 in 30th of March. And my son is 3.5. But I let them to choose their way. I never force them to do anything. Even now, I let them to solve their problems and to do what they want.
But I was wondering, like, what sports that you have played or that your children play, and what you like watching, like what sport you like watching or playing.
When I was in my young age, after 15 or to 26, I played soccer. Yes, now I do my exercises. I'm not doing any other sports. I don't do it.
What is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport, soccer.
Yeah. How about cricket? Oh. Also?
Cricket, no, I don't know about cricket much.
Yeah. Okay. Rafi can teach you. Do you have anything more you want to say as we close out?
Yes, let me say this. In Afghanistan war, after 2001 to now, I think about more than $800 billion expended to Afghanistan war. If they put that money, 5% of that money, to the dialogue and to talking to each other, Afghanistan people and the people in the United States, we could beat definitely terrorism, and also we could have a really better world than now. I graduated from a military university. I know the people when they talk to each other, I believe to this. When the people talk to each other, it's much better than we use troops or force against each other.